y'all, it's my review for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, episodes 14 and 15. Before I left for Mexico, I was supposed to do this review, but look, a ninja got tired and was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this when I get back. And so this should air Wednesday. Tonight is Tuesday, and it'll be just in time for me to review the next episode. Am I behind on anything else? Oh, Miami review. Y'all will get it when you get it. Maybe this weekend I'll do it. But right now, let's get into Beverly Hills. So we left off on a climax in the last episode. It feels like so long ago. But Crystal isn't feeling so well, and according to her, it looked like she was having stroke symptoms. And Anne-Marie, put her differences aside and was just trying to calm Crystal down and just using her medical know-how to assess the situation until the ambulance gets there. So the ambulance finally comes and they assess Crystal and they get her blood pressure. She told Anne-Marie that her blood pressure was 177 over 108. And to give you perspective, the normal blood pressure is 120 over 80. Now, I'm definitely familiar with high blood pressure symptoms. Like 177, look, I would be freaking out when mine was like at 140, 150. Because I was just like, let me schedule a doctor's appointment because I don't think this is normal. So yeah, this is a little Chris's business, but I think high blood pressure runs in my family. But thankfully, I don't need any adjustment medication for now. It's just like I just have to watch it and, maybe watch my diet, maybe exercise more, do stuff like that. Anywho, it looks like Crystal won't be able to join the activities for the day. She's going to be going to the hospital. None of the ladies go with her. I think Anne-Marie offered, but I think production was just encouraging them to finish their day, and somebody on production went with Crystal. I also forgot to mention this. Like, we cut to Anne-Marie's confessional, and she's saying, like, it's just so ironic how Crystal was downing my profession. She actually wasn't. She was just calling you out because you said you were something when you weren't. She never downed your profession. And she tried to make it seem like in this moment she was Crystal's savior. Now, while it was nice of you to take care of Crystal and assess the situation before the ambulance came, like Lois of Keys, you didn't really do anything, sis. So I would calm down on the, oh, everything's so ironic. It's so ironic. She was downing my profession. My profession. So as Crystal is whisked away to a Spanish hospital, the ladies continue going into the church. And yes, Erica, we know that you had a chapel in your old house when you used to be rich. We know. And then, we see Sutton getting emotional. We see her sitting next to Kyle. They're bonding off of this experience, and Sutton is feeling so touched in the moment right now, she decides to apologize to Kyle. But Kyle does not apologize to Sutton. I really thought that, they should apologize to each other. It's Kyle though, so I'm not really surprised. So then we see the ladies walking around the city area, and then now they're having lunch. This is gonna be a real light episode, I feel, but it's still a good episode because they're doing luxurious things and they don't have to fight all the time for me to be entertained. The topic of conversation is Crystal and how she's doing, and then they're talking about the situation between her and Anne-Marie. And they're still running this narrative like, oh, Crystal will think twice now, what she said about Anne-Marie since she helped her out. I just disagree. What do y'all think? So then producer Garcelle brings up to Dorit in front of the whole table the issue they had many episodes ago when Dorit said that she was attacking her. And Garcelle prefaced this with, I don't think anyone here is racist, but I do think that you grew up very privileged, and the bubble she meant is like she's just not aware. And Dorit is very apologetic. I mean, of course she's going to be. But then, she does bring up to Garcelle that she's Israeli, the plight of being Jewish, and then she says she wants to know Garcelle's plight as well to understand. Hopefully Dorit does the work. I'm not sure, judging from her actions present day. Can't wait to see this reunion because, after her thing with Garcelle and then what she said about Crystal in her confessional, she's gonna have a lot of explaining to do. Dorit makes sure to tell Garcelle that in no way she's comparing, but she just feels like it's an unfair characterization of her to call her a Karen. Dorit then gives an allegedly authentic apology. Garcelle believes her, and they're able to move on. And you know, I do appreciate that about this franchise. So then after lunch, they're headed to the van to go back, and then Sutton's letting them know that later in the evening they're gonna have dinner and that her friends that live in Spain are gonna come visit. But before the ladies get to the van, we see them telling Sutton, so we're really not gonna go shopping while we're in the city? And Sutton's like, no, we gotta be back home like early. And the ladies, they spot a store, and Sutton is like, okay, y'all got 3 minutes. Kyla's like, there ain't no problem, there ain't no problem. She knows her credit card by heart. And I will say, I know my debit card by heart. It really does come in handy. Ooh, my edible I took before this, it has just kicked in. I feel great. So the ladies arrive back at their lodging and they see Crystal has returned from the hospital. She's a little emotional, like, cause it was scary, I think, what she was going through. She thanks Anne Marie. I mean, they're all buddy-buddy now, and she's holding her. Like, really? Wow. 24 hours makes a difference. Crystal says in her confession that she has a family history of high blood pressure, so that's why that happens. She just has to monitor it. So next scene, we see all the ladies getting ready for dinner, and oh my God, where they're staying just looks so stunning. Like, I just came back from Mexico, like I wanna go travel again. So we're in Erica's room now, and she looks a little tipsy. She's talking to her glam, and she's saying like what's going on tonight, like they're making paella, and Sutton's friends, they're erudites, erudite, but it means having or showing great knowledge or learning. I'm probably saying it wrong, but I'm high. Please excuse me. Is it erudite or is it an erudite? Erudite. Okay, I give up. So it's later in the evening, Sutton's guests arrive, and it's a bunch of diverse, eclectic people. We see the ladies coming down the patio for dinner, and ooh, Erica, this snakeskin dress. I'm not sure where she's getting the money from, but she's killing it on the fashion tip. So the other ladies, they're cute. Like, I love what Crystal's wearing for once. The electric lime looks good on her. Garcelle, I'm not sure about this gown. I'm not sure. I mean, she looks great. I'm just not sure about the gown. And Erica, she's definitely tipsy as hell because she's very talkative. And look, that's one of my traits. When I'm high or kind of drunk, I get real talkative. And you know, it's very different from sober Chris. Child, here goes Storm, their private chef, and Garcelle's wetting the pants again. And then Storm's dad comes out, and now Garcelle's like, oh, okay, age appropriate. Hi, Dad. Again, it's not my type. I mean, the chefs, the looks are okay. I mean, they're not a Brad Pitt or, I don't know, a Chris Hemsworth. I don't get that. So they're all seated for dinner. The ladies are now pressing Sutton's gay to, you know, get some untold tea about Sutton when he knew her when they were young. And he mentions something about Sutton living in Brooklyn. And then Erica, she says, Brooklyn? What a dump. Excuse you? Now, I don't even live in Brooklyn, but don't be talking shit about Brooklyn. Especially, like, where are you living, ma'am? In your rented place? There's places in Brooklyn that's just as expensive or more than your neighborhood. Now, maybe she's talking about Brooklyn back then, like when Sutton was young, but she didn't clarify. So the conversation at the table is about Merce, Sutton's friend whose ashes she brought, and Erica mentions how the fact that he's in a Ziploc bag. And then, you know, from the other ladies' reactions and the production's music, you think like, oh, is something gonna happen? Because Erica's, you know, she's so drunk. But, you know, she's just having light conversation. I don't think she said anything offensive. Afterward, this lady at the table says she's from Philadelphia, where Beanie Siegel is king. And I was kind of taken aback because Beanie Siegel was mentioned on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. The lady asked, does anyone at the table know who Beanie Siegel is? I would have assumed no, but Erica says, hell yeah, I know who Beanie Siegel is. Now, how does she know? That's what I'm curious about. Name 2 songs. Name them. I'm still taken aback though that Beanie Siegel was mentioned. And this woman at the table is definitely from Generation X because I just haven't heard the name Beanie Siegel in so long. So Sutton's friends are introducing themselves, like they're pretty accomplished people at the table. Erica is having drunk conversation, but while in her mind, she's like engaging and, you know, just letting people know that she's aware of things in the world, it actually comes off like she's kind of being a show off, like, oh yeah, I know these things, and like, because she's kind of cutting off this woman who's saying she's from Lebanon, and I'm like, girl, just let her talk. We get it. You know where she's from. You're aware of the war. Good for you, A+. But let the woman talk. We cut to a bunch of the other ladies' confessionals, and they're just impressed by this knowledge that Erica knows, because she doesn't exude that with them. Oh, so here's the part. So Sutton takes out her purse with her friend's ashes in them, and then Erica yells at the table, "Merce is in the purse." Like, some of the other ladies are laughing, and hopefully Sutton doesn't take offense to that outburst. Okay, she's not offended, so she's just talking to the table, saying her intentions to spread her friend's ashes. So it looks like dinner is over, and the ladies back then, I think they probably would have went out. The ladies now, it looks like they're all in their 50s or approaching 50 maybe. And look, they're ready to get into bed, and I don't blame them. A few nights ago when I was in Mexico, we went to dinner, then a cocktail bar afterward. I'm like, I'm done. I don't need to go to a club. Like, I want to put my feet up and go to bed. So then we get a sweet moment between Sutton and her friend, and this was a good episode for Sutton. I mean, Sutton has really been the MVP this season. Love her or hate her. I don't really know that many people that dislike Sutton. But yeah, she's definitely been earning her keep on this franchise. So it's the next morning, the ladies are ready to do their next activity. We see Garcelle, who, do I like what she's wearing? I like what she's wearing. Y'all let me know. It's this white little poncho type outfit. Like, it's a skirt / poncho. It stops at her knees. I think it's cute. I think she needs another stylist, low key, but she's cute here. She's just visiting Crystal to see if she's okay. She has a blood pressure monitor. I have one of those too. Her blood pressure still isn't down, but you know, I think they gave her medication for it. Like, I saw 151 over 110. That's not good. So the activity is going to be Sutton laying out her friend's ashes, as well as the ladies doing some sort of similar activity with these flower necklaces that she got. And then later on, we see Sutton kind of like having a moment. She's crying because the situation reminds her of her dad, and her dad's ashes. She lets Kyle know, as she's trying to comfort her, that she lost her dad's ashes when she was moving around so much. While Sutton is really letting it all out right now, we're getting a lot of background, the layers behind Sutton. And, you know, it's sweet that she's confiding in Kyle right now. So the credits are rolling, and this episode ends with Kyle just comforting Sutton. This was a cute episode, very light and heartfelt. It's okay, but it was definitely filler though. Let's get to episode 15. So this episode continues with Sutton confiding into Kyle. The ladies are about to go with her to spread her friend's ashes, and then we see Trevor is joining them too. I wonder if this is going to be a filler episode as well. As they're heading to their destination, they're just having a little kiki cackle about gay terms, gay slang, bears, otters. And I can't believe production included Garcelle saying that Andy Cohen is a top. I mean, look, I believe it. I don't think he's a bottom. I mean, I run into Andy at the strip club in Atlanta swinging Richards, and look, he loves him some dark chocolate. Let's just say that. But I'm not surprised that he's a top. He's just a short one, but everyone's short to me. But Andy Cohen, he's about 5'7", 5'8" at the most. And then we see Garcelle explaining to the ladies what a blouse is. And for those of you who don't know, it's a feminine top. Because not all tops are masculine. You'll be surprised. So the ladies and Sutton's friend, they get to the point where they're about to throw her friend's ashes. Sutton's getting very emotional again. She's having her speech. And as she's throwing the ashes over the edge, it blows back into all of the ladies. And they scatter like roaches. Oh, the way Kyle was freaking out, I would have freaked out too. Oh my God, really? A dead man's ashes flying in my face? I would have been so mad. I probably would have pushed Sutton over the edge. I mean, she didn't realize that the wind was blowing the opposite direction. I mean, I'm glad she has a sense of humor about it. I wouldn't if it flew in my face. So then afterward, the ladies are gonna throw their flowers, and it signifies what they're letting go. Geez, I mean, is everybody going to cry before they throw their flowers off the edge? So one of the flower throws that stands out is from Erica, who says this represents the hurt, the pain, and the anger that many of you contributed to. And she just throws it in the water. The other ladies are like, what? Especially Garcelle. So I'm sure this is going to come up in conversation later. So it's Kyle's turn, and you know she crying. And of course, it's pertaining to like her sister, her divorce especially. And she says in her confessional that she doesn't know if her marriage is going to survive, but she's going to let the ladies know on her own time. I'll continue to say this, but this Kyle Richards is just so different from her season 1 self. But they are supposed to evolve. Like, no housewife that's starting from season 1 should be the same person they are. Now, Teresa, she's the same person she is, but that's because she's a terrible person. So as the ladies are headed back to the sprinter, we see Crystal apologizing to Erica if she may have caused any hurt to her during, the hellish time she's had. And Erica appreciates this. She's very I told you so in her confessional. If I was Crystal, I would have stood my ground because what she said back then to her was the harsh truth she needed to hear. Like, her selfish response to actual victims that have suffered under the hands of her husband, who provided her lifestyle and her music career, did that with stolen money. So the ladies are headed back. Fast forward, we're now seeing them get ready for the evening's activity, which is going to be flamingo dancing and dinner. We then see Erica talking to her glam about how she's still pissed with some of the ladies that they haven't apologized given where she is right now, with the recent result of the lawsuit she was in. She basically wants an apology from Garcelle and Sutton. So the ladies are all leaving the house, and clearly by the way they're dressed, the theme is red. So we are halfway through the episode, and again, we have another filler-ass episode. I'm not annoyed by it, but, I'm still weirdly entertained. But I know, some of you are going to say you're bored. I get it. So the topic of conversation while they're on the sprinter, the ladies are just talking about prenups. And the camera's going to be zooming in on Kyle a little extra, saying that she just signs when Mauricio tells her to. Now look, we can all see what happened with Teresa when that happened, as well as Erica actually. So then we continue seeing the ladies just do fun, luxurious things, and I'm not complaining about it. They're about to do the flamingo dancing, and then they're at this beautiful restaurant. So of course we get to the conversation about what Erica said earlier in the day when she was throwing the flowers off the edge. I think Anne-Marie misquoted her. That's why production played the flashback of her saying that, well, I want to let this hurt go that many of you contributed to. So Erica says she felt misjudged and mischaracterized the year that all ladies was coming at her about the diamond earrings. Of course she brings up the appeal, which in her mind, she thinks she's absolved of everything. So then Garcelle confirms with Erica that she said earlier in the season that she doesn't trust most of the women in this group. And I think they just leave it at that. Like, Garcelle didn't really give her an apology, but she does say in her confessional that all they wanted out of her the season where they were going at her was just to show some empathy and compassion. But, Erica was the victim in her head. As they move on from that conversation, Sutton proposes a toast to Erica on her residency, even though she didn't get a door invite yet. It's kind of awkward, but it seemed like it didn't happen yet. But Erica says in her confessional that, of course, all the ladies are invited. Okay, so now we get to the flamingo dancing. Fast forward. It's getting late. It's getting late. I'm not even sure if that song goes like that, but yeah, chop chop. I need to finish reviewing this episode. All right, so with that, after the flamingo dancing, that marks the end of their trip to Spain. We're back in Beverly Hills, and we get a montage of what the ladies are doing. So we end up at Kyle's house with Dorit coming over. You know what I haven't said in a long time? Kyle. I feel like I just never had a reason to say it this season. So they're talking, and Dorit asks Kyle how is she and Mauricio. She actually calls him Moster. Okay, girl. Kyle says they're fine, but she's in therapy right now. We cut to Dorit's confessional, and she's just saying how she noticed how Kyle has been very distant with her lately, and she just wants her to know that she's there for her. I'm just waiting for her to say the announcement at the end of the season that her and Mauricio are getting a divorce. She's talking to Dorit, and there's definitely a problem in their marriage. And in one of the flashbacks, I'm really surprised they kept in Kyle asking Mauricio about his Buying Beverly Hills event. because, it's an opposing show, which I did not mind that show. I can't wait for season 2 to come. They said Kyle's going to be in it. So the credits are rolling. We're in Kyle's confessional, and she is just so close to saying that I'm getting a divorce. Like, she might as well just say it, because the whole end of this episode is cryptic. So that's where the episode ends. We get a little preview for tomorrow's episode, I guess. And, it's more Kyle and Reseal drama. We see Erica and Garcelle, they're talking. I knew that was coming up. And Sutton on another date. I mean, at this point, just give the woman her own dating show. Make her the Golden Bachelorette. How about that? But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all thought of these 2 filler episodes. I think we have 2 more episodes left of the season. With that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all for the next episode. Bye.